Om Apyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshu Shrutramatho Balamendriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahmapanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarut Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam mestu Tadatmani nirate ya Upanishadsu dharma ste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, and the life force become efficient and powerful to perform their functions correctly. All is verily the one without second, ever blissful, ever perfect, infinite Brahman. May I never deny the truth of one without second Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues necessary to experience this truth as described by the Upanishads be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel this oneness by imagining that each one of us is an ice cube right now. Outside the hall, the temperatures are much below freezing and there is lot of ice. As we bring a heap of those ice cubes from outside to inside, they all start gradually melting, losing their shapes, and the wrong identities. I am like one of those ice cubes. I feel I am so and so, such and such. I have these qualities. I am learned in these disciplines, not learned in some other disciplines. This is my age, this is my height, this is my weight, this is my gender. I also establish relations with other ice cubes. These are my parents. These are my siblings. This is my community. I have friendly relations with some, inimical relations with others, and have no relation with many. But as I meditate, the warmth of meditation is melting this wrong, fictitious identity as I transcend the body and mind. I see everything is same, one without second. All ice cubes, or formerly ice cubes, they lost their identities, which actually was not there also to begin with also. I see this absolute oneness. I am existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, peace, peace, peace. So today we are going to begin the seventh skandha, the seventh volume of this great treatise, where all the beautiful stories, they encapsulate the greatest truths of life, which include the physical science, the psychological science, and the spiritual science. Everything is presented in such a convincing manner. There is the philosophy at its highest, and there is also the poetry and storytelling also at its best. This book, Bhagavatam, is therefore the choice book for study, for reading, for recitation, for the devotees. And those who have more a devotional bent of mind, they invariably take this book. And those who don't have that bent of mind, they also can be greatly helped on their path by this book, because devotion is very important in progress of our spiritual life. Even though our path may be more dominated by this jnana yoga, the yoga of discernment, or the yoga of action, or the yoga of meditation like Raja Yoga. In all these, the bhakti or devotion is very, very important, plays a very pivotal role. One of our great Swamis used to say that without bhakti, without devotion, all yogas he would make a round by hand. All yogas are zero. They are not at all there. Without devotion, none of these yogas can be meaningfully practiced. And therefore, the study of this book is taken up by the great Vedantists as well. So, we saw in the last sixth volume the stories of how the angels, or the Indra, led by Indra, what is called Devas in Sanskrit, Deva, the angels, they won the victory over the demons with the support, active support from the God. And asuras, the demons, in spite of having a lot of power, and after having some initial victories, they got vanquished. We saw the stories of Vritra, a very important story. On last the Friday, it was discussed here by our Adi Maharaj, that the story of Chitraketu and story of Vritra, very illustrative stories. And then the question comes, very important philosophically as well as for a devotee. I get many times these emails, how can I get the grace of God? Why is it not coming? Even so many demons, they also got the grace of God. And why am I being kept away by God? Naturally, one feels that kind of, question. I am doing all these good things, right things. As a human being, I have my frailties, but I am trying, I am doing my best, and yet God doesn't seem to release His power of grace. Why is the God holding it back? The questions come. And whereas it seems that those who did not, in a way, deserve that, they get it. These demons, they did all the bad things, and somehow God blessed them with the visions, the realization of the ultimate truth. Why this thing? And why God slides with the angels, the devas? So all these things we will discuss today, but let us recite this important first, that opening chant, the first verse of this great text. So join in reciting as loudly as you can. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditarat श्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. We had seen before this the significance of this word, truth supreme. What is this truth supreme? Which does not undergo any change. It is ever present. On that supreme truth, the other things get superimposed, which come and go being superimpositions, like all I and you, I am so and so, and all such things. They are superimpositions, like the pictures that we see on a movie screen. The screen remains there. It was there even before the movie started, and remains intact even after the movie is over. And whatever happens in the movie has absolutely no impact on the screen. So this is the supreme truth. It is helpful to imagine that we are like those pictures in the movie, and the screen is the self, the Atman that runs through all these pictures. That is why we identify ourselves when it is asked that, well, yourself, who are you? So that lady will say, that girl will say, I am Ishani. That young man will say, I am Vishwajit. That he will say, I am Yona. He will say, I am Adi, and so forth, What is the same thing we are telling? That is the screen. I am. The other things, they change. Other things change. They, as the time progresses, it changes. Our names, they change. Like it is, Yona is, say, professor. For the students, she is professor. That is the name that is in that context. But for her mom, are you a professor there? No, absolutely not. She is not professor for her mom. It is, so these are contextual things. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad therefore calls them as karma nama. They names that you get because of your karma, because of your vocation, because how you appear and so forth. I remember in India those days, they were the horse carriages going through a crowded street. And now the coachman used to shout to make the people walking, to give this road, move aside. And he would just he won't know, he doesn't know any name, but he would give the name right, and that would have the effect. Oh, red shirt, please. So the one who is wearing the red shirt gets the name, because the red shirt is put on at that time, gets the name red shirt. Somebody has put on a turban. Hey, pagdi wala, a turban, please move aside. So it is, now these are, the names become like that. It is, in the schools, the teachers would be given some such names by the students. That the teacher who has a particular trait would be given a particular name by the students. So it is, now that name is what? Take particular name in that context only, will not get carried to other things. So, but one name gets carried everywhere. I am. Do you get it, Aishwarya? That gets carried. That we cannot give up. And that is not given by anybody. That is like the screen, the same I moves, pervades every single entity. That is why God declared to Moses, when Moses saw God in the burning bush, who are you? The answer was like a Vedanta answer, I am that I am. There are no specifics to it. I am that I am. So, this is how the reality is. But now we see the variety, the movements, the changes, and then we think of a God who controls all these changes without really controlling anything, without getting involved in anything. So it is, this question comes in Bhagavad Gita and even in other places. You see, the Lord declares in the 9th chapter, I am the same to all beings. I do not hate nor favor anyone. But those who worship me faithfully, they are in me and I am in them. Hmm. Now it's a very tricky thing. God is not favoring anybody, not hating anybody. But if you meditate on God, if you are devoted to God, when you feel God is my own, then okay, God comes in you and you be in God. So this is how there is this relationship with God depends on the devotee's that temperament, how devotee feels about it. So otherwise God is same to all, that samam sarveshu bhuteshu. This is the English translation of that. Name dveshosti na priyaha. So I have no hatred or passion. I do not have any particular leaning. I am in all the same as my true nature. Like the screen is same for all. Whether somebody is bad person, still the same screen. Somebody very nice person, it's the same screen. So that aspect of God, that truth of God, there is no favorable, not non-favorable. So, but the question comes when we see the relativity. And this is the question asked in the beginning by this king Parikshit. All this Bhagavatam, there are 3-4 different versions of Bhagavatam. Versions means not that different editions like that, but 3-4 versions means one is that is being told by Shuka to King Parikshit. The other version is how Shiva told it to Parvati. That is how we had once described here, how Shuka got it. It is Shuka has the other name that is like parrot. You know, a parrot is called Shuka, the bird parrot. Do you know this word, Shuka, Hindi word? In Bengali, Hindi, Shuka is the name for parrot. So you must have heard a parrot is Shuka. So how he got it? So I have told it in more details earlier, but just the gist of it, that Shiva was asked by Parvati that it is that everybody that dies, how you are immortal. Everyone, even I died and again became your wife. Earlier I was Sati and different form. But how you managed to remain free from death? And Shiva tells her, well, that is my secret. Parvati naturally becomes, what? You keep secrets from me? It is. So Shiva said, okay, well, you know, this is a story that is not for everybody. I can tell you, but on this hill here, Kailasa, so many other beings live. So first I have to push them away from here, and then I can tell it to you. So Shiva's order, Parvati's order, everybody left. And so Shiva started telling this Bhagavatam. It is called the Amara Katha, the story of making you immortal by making you see your truth. We see that in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. It is Amrita, Kathamrita, because that story removes your delusion that I am body, and so you become immortal. That is the only way one can become immortal, by knowing this truth that I am not the body. So, this Bhagavatam is also that story, and Shiva started telling it to Parvati. But then, although all creatures left, ran away, flew away, there was one, the birds flew away, but one parrot, a mother parrot, had an egg there. And then that egg, now it hatched. And then it was listening to this story. So, and immediately Shiva Parvati saw, and Shiva ran after it. And then this bird that flew here, there, everywhere, Shiva was after it with the Trishula, that trident. But this bird found in the shelter with Shuka's wife. Shuka's wife, Sage Vyasa's wife. Sage Vyasa's wife kept it with her, and Shiva came there saying, "Hey, this bird, this bird has listened to a story for which the bird was not eligible. Stealthily listened to that story, and so no, has to be killed now. It is like somebody stole the PhD thesis of someone, and it is found out that it was plagiarism. I think in Harvard that case is going on, isn't it? Yeah. So then the PhD is taken away because it was plagiarism. So this fellow, this little bird, has stolen it. Now Vyasa explains, how can you kill? Anyway, now that story of immortality has got into it. Now if it is really the story of immortality, you can't kill that bird anymore. So leave it. This will become the great sage Shuka. So it is said that that is how this the son was born with this. It was, since it was originally a parrot, got the name Shuka. And it is that Shuka, a great sage, because he was totally unattached to body. He was immortal because has absolutely no identification with body. So, and as soon as he came out at a very, not immediately. It took quite some time, became some 16-year-old, and then comes out from the womb and just started walking away. The father started, "Hey, my dear son." He didn't pay heed and left the body, left the home and everything. That is a different story. You read it in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna also. But anyway, so this Shuka is now telling this story to Parikshit. And how this is the that version, Parvati being told this story by Shiva. There is another way that you get it. The Sri Krishna telling it to Uddhava. There you see it, that story. Then we have another version of it, that Suta. he heard this Parikshit and Shuka talking, and what we get is that that Suta is narrating this story to us, in which he tells the names Shuka, Shuka instructing Parikshit. So now Parikshit asks some very, very relevant questions. That God is impartial. But look at how differently he treats the demons and angels. Let us read. Raja Parikshit said, "O learned one, the Lord is the same to all. He is the dear one and friend of all. Samapriya Sarud Brahman Bhutanam Bhagavan Swayam." The Sanskrit words are very, very beautiful. It is, but since we do not have the capability here to keep on describing the Sanskrit intricacies, we are following the English translation here. But in fact, it cannot be, it is incomparable. So, O learned one, the Lord is the same to all. He is the dear one and friend of all. Then why did he act like a partial person? Why did he kill the asuras, the demons, in order to favor Indra? It is, he is not impartial then. Why he took up such a position? It is for the Lord who is ever blessed. It is why that Lord shouldn't have that kind of favoritism. Love and hatred can be in beings subject to the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. But how can that be in God who is beyond them? There is nothing for him to achieve by favoring Indra, the angels, and has nothing to fear from asuras, demons. Then why did he favor Indra and got his asura enemies killed? It is the common question that why God, and we remember this question when we have to face difficulties in the world while other people, our neighbors, seem to be doing very well. One devotee used to say that why I have to go through all these problems and my neighbor seems to be so happy. I feel so sad and that why God is dealing me such cruel blow. It is why God should be giving same treatment to all. Why that fellow is favored, and though he is not such a good person, I know, and because I am always good person, isn't it? It is. And see, I do all these good things. I give donations. I treat everybody nicely, I speak nice with people and so forth. Yet I am subjected to all these tragedies in life. Look how I fell sick. That fellow was very well, you know. I suddenly fell sick. Suddenly, one day, my car got hit by some other car. Not my fault. But the other car came and hit. What can be? Why my car? What I am? Why it is me who is subjected to these treatments? And it is the problem comes to us only then. If I get favors, I don't ask, you know. that why God did you give me favor and not the other fellow? It seems my neighbor was better than me, but then why did you favor me? We never question that then. It is only when we are at the short end of the stick, then the question comes to us, hey God, so why are you so partial to that fellow? The earlier slide that we saw, it is that I have that, see the two arrows, our vision is only this much. But imagine, that it is all infinitely extended board there. And imagine also that the point on which this seesaw is placed, this lever, it is floating. Now, which side will go up, which side will go down, what will happen, we do not know. The two fellows sitting on the two sides, it is that will have the difference. Our vision is so narrow. We see only this, that this person is bad, but you are seeing only a small span of his life. You are not aware of what the fellow did earlier, etc. It is what was that fellow's past life that we don't see. And we have ideas, how did this happen? That it is said that in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna there is a nice couple of stories like that. That one person who used to very devotedly worship the Lord Shiva, he made all the arrangement of worship in a temple, and then after making all the arrangements, just went to take a bath and come and start the worship. But by the time he comes back, somebody has already come in and did the worship and went away. And also he saw that how that person could do the worship. I did all the arrangement, and who got the fruits of the worship? That fellow. The work was done by me, and that fellow got the result. This we see many times in life, that somebody does some good turn, other gets the benefit and goes away. And I didn't do anything, but something happened, and then I get the bad result. That Mullah Nasiruddin, is many nice quips are there. He was walking under a tree. The path was going under the tree. And as he was walking, a man who was up on the tree was plucking some fruits from there, but the branch broke, and this man fell on the shoulders, on the head and shoulder of this Mullah Nasiruddin. And this Mullah Nasiruddin got hurt, had to be taken to doctor, and whatever those days hospitals were, he was hospitalized for a few days. And he says, look, that fellow fell down. And who was hospitalized, who got hurt, and I got hurt. Where is the justice here? I didn't fall down. I was just walking, that fellow fell down. And who got hurt? I got hurt. Where is the justice? What, Charlie? Where is the justice? No justice here, So, very funny that we don't know what happens. One man was not particularly doing any meditation. He was walking in a forest for hunting and all that, and it became night. And after night now, so he went up on a tree to get protected from the wild animals. So, like a tiger or a boar, and so he climbed up the tree, and then just what to do. So, in an idle activity, he just started plucking some leaves of the tree and let them fall down by his hands. Okay. So, now as it happened that there was a Shivalingam, a Shiva's emblem there. And so he suddenly was blessed with the vision of Shiva. Oh, what a nice whole night worship you performed with the bell leaves. Now, he didn't go there for that purpose. He didn't have that intention either. But then how did he get this result? That many who have been striving hard for a long time and performing all austerities and the rituals and praying to Lord, they also don't get this, and this fellow suddenly got it. So in the world of the divine kingdom also there are lotteries, it seems, that somebody got a lottery. So you got it? So this question comes that our understanding is only very little, that he didn't do anything, he didn't do that you could see. But he might have done a lot earlier. Like some person is seen living in a quite comfortable life, but is not doing anything. No activity is being done by that person, and no earning seems to be not a earning job. How is he able to live so comfortably? Well, he did a lot earlier, retired, and then had lot of bank balance. So that is how he is living comfortably now. So, or he got some heritage, and then he is thereby living comfortably. We do not know, but there are so many things that field of knowledge, we have that very glaucoma-like vision, that only a small part is seen, that nothing beyond is seen by us, a tubular vision. So that is why we get question how this could happen. It is so his question is like that the God is beyond all the three gunas. The three gunas, they appear from divine, but God is not touched by those. The three gunas, we have seen that many times, that it is the nature, Maya or Prakriti. It operates with these three gunas. That is a great psychology. That is so efficient, efficacious in explaining many these mental issues that we suffer from or we see happening. And this three gunas, their combinations That is the only way that we can understand, explain those things. The Western psychology has absolutely no understanding of that. So, three gunas by which the Prakriti becomes like that. There are, thus, everything has this trinity involved in it: subject, object relationship. The action, result, and that which joins the action and the result. It is everywhere you will see this three things getting involved because of this three gunas that it is. So these three gunas, they are manifestations. This is a very deep, beautiful philosophy. Those who want to know more about it, we had discussed it before a few times, but the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the concentrated teachings on these three gunas. One can read it, and also you can see that the 17th and 18th chapter show how the three gunas, they change. They in different person, same things get altered by that person's three gunas present, the proportions, the preponderance and all that. So it is, but in all that, God is detached. It is not that the screen is involved in the Jesus as well as those who were killing Jesus. Ravana and Ram both were on the same screen. Screen was in both of them. But the screen did not kill Ravana. Did screen kill Ravana? No. It is the abduction of Sita done by the screen? No. It is, but the screen was in them. It has. Now we confuse these two. Because without this screen, none of the movie things happen. The movie will not be seen without the screen being there. So we confuse between the reality, that screen, and the appearance, and feel how could that screen do it? It is very funny. We lose the sight that it is an appearance and the reality is not touched at all. It didn't do anything, and yet it did everything. Because without it, it cannot happen. That is how they do double-blind experiments to see whether that is responsible or not. Like whether a particular medicine is working or not. Okay, give this medicine to the affected people, see what happens. If they respond positively, there is a chance that this drug is the cause of the cure. But maybe that they got cured, even that it is without that medicine also they could have been cured. So see what happens to those who do not take this medicine, how it works with them. Or let us see if some other medication is given to them, if it works or not. Various types of trials are done. So now if you see this trial, that here, that no, Ravana couldn't have abducted Sita had there been no screen. When there is screen, yes, he could do it. So who is responsible? The screen, that fellow is responsible. God, therefore, is involved in that. QED, proved. No, it is not really proved. So it is a very philosophically intricate question. You will see this being discussed on various philosophical forums in Christianity, in Vedanta, everywhere. Is God responsible for these things or not responsible? It is a great debate. If God is not responsible, then who is responsible? It is not easy to answer this question from this standpoint. One has to therefore see that while God doesn't do anything, the Maya does everything. That is, that you see, sattva, rajas, tamas, tribhir gunamayair bhavair ebhis sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati. That it is, this is from 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that through all these three qualities getting mixed, people get deluded, and thus they do not know the ultimate truth. So says Shuka, now responds, yes, God is free from all passions and partialities as the all-pervading one, but in Maya he assumes two opposite forms, the attacker and the attacked. This is the dual throng, that everything here has a counterpart, the opposite thing. It is the two things are there, the consciousness and matter. There is this dilemma, whether everything is consciousness or everything is matter. Some say it is hard problem of consciousness. Some say it is hard problem of matter. Now what side do you want to take? There is the problem of good and evil. It is very difficult to say that something is good, because for some people it may be evil. That there is a group that I meet now and then, some people advocating that no one should get vaccinated for COVID. COVID is a hoax. It is because the whole system of publicity and information spreading is controlled by the two big banks, big businesses, BlackRock and Vanguard. They are controlling everything, and they therefore let only that information disseminate. You will find people having this argument. Then there are those who strongly advocate that yes, one must get vaccinated for COVID. Whatever one opinion you put, there will be another opinion automatically created by that. It is the nature of the reality to get divided like this, the attacker and attacked, the so-called evil, so-called good. You cannot term something as evil, because for somebody it is good. It is somebody who wants to sell the stock. Now, if the prices are falling, the person said, it is such a bad time. Somebody who wants to buy, and the situation becomes different. Oh, this is the right time to buy. So, the good or bad, who knows? But these things happen automatically, simultaneously. In its root can be found even in the deepest of our chemical analysis of things, that it is mathematically it can be shown that every single particle, like say electron, when it is produced, its opposite positron will have to be made, because in the equation they are the square roots of -1. So therefore it has to get into two, that it is the square root of -1. It is both positive, negative. So both are possibilities, and therefore, of course, there is then the theories they multiply, that there is this world and there is the world of antimatter, matter and antimatter. So these, because it is the nature of the things are split against each other. So this is like that. There are the criminals and there are the police to control them, and many times it has been shown that the police also are equally criminals. It is not that they are not criminals. It is, and amongst the criminals there would be some very good traits that you can find. I remember one nice incident. The police chief of that Maharashtra state, we were very good close friends. So he came to the bookstore and he said that, okay, this book I would like to buy. I'll buy this book. Should I buy or just pocket it and go away? Because we are police, and not much difference between police and thieves. So it is, he was of course in jest, it was all going on, but the idea is that it is all split like that. So we shall close here with this closing chant, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to voice or type. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam shukamukhadamritadravasanyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. There is this story that I told about Shuka, the parrot. It is said that a fruit that is pecked by a parrot is sweeter than other fruits. So this is coming from the mouth of this parrot, Shuka, and therefore this story has been made very sweet by the coming out of the mouth of parrot. Anyway, any questions? No questions here. Hey, any question upstairs? No? Yes, okay.
First question from BM.
From?
BM.
D.
Just B, H, then M.
BHM.
Yes.
Okay, BHM.
So if we trust others because we are following practical Vedanta and others betray our trust, then also we should keep trusting them?
Well, we trusting what? That is the question. Let me tell you an incident. One great Swami, he was the head of the center there, and then somebody was telling him something. A devotee was that this is how the Swami was asking further details. Oh, okay, did you see like this? Were you there at that time? And this devotee in irritation said, don't you believe me? Don't you have faith in me? Don't you trust me? This Swami said, I trust you because there is God in you, and I don't trust you because you are in Maya. So it is, the trust is like that if somebody betrays the trust, yes, that person is in Maya. Therefore, there is always a verification, there is always this caution that has to be exercised. The other day, few days ago, I was off the guard, and thus somebody cheated me for some big amount, it is so. Anyway, what I mean is that doesn't mean that the God is not there, but God is there, and this deception, this Maya is also there. So therefore we have to be very, very cautious, but should not say, judge that it is that person is bad. No, that person did it like that. It is, but that person may have many good things in that person. It is, so should not be making an absolute judgment with a relative truth. A relative truth will have a relative judgment, not an absolute judgment. No, this fellow is bad, this fellow is good. This is a mistake that we do a lot, especially in America, where in the whole Western world really, the ethical philosophy is based on this Descartes' duality. It is the two, good, bad, a division between the two, and that is why moral relativism is considered to be bad. Things have to be good, good, always good. Have to be bad means always bad. No, that is not the case, dear. So trust, because there is God, and be on guard, because there is the Maya also. Any other question?
Yes. 2 more questions.
Okay.
Second question from Isha.
Yes, Isha.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
At what point does God go from an impartial observer to let people's karma play out, to let come down as avatar and fix creation and rescue those people?
See, God, at what point the absolute remains unchanging. Without any change, it manifests as an incarnation of God. There is no change. Therefore, in describing Avatara, Shankaracharya gives such a beautiful, I think there is no better description of this process of incarnation than that. Shankara says in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita commentary that there is no change. It is just an appearance. Jata iva, dehavan iva, jata iva, lokanugraha kurvan iva cha lakshate. Appears as if is having a body, appears as if born, and appears to be guiding people on the right path and bless them. So there is not a point when it changes. There is no such thing. It is the incarnation of God, happens whenever there is the apparent in a given social circumstances, there is the need for it. But it is not the need of the absolute. Shankara says, therefore, swaprayojana abhave api. It has no purpose. But in Maya, in the manifestation, the others have now purpose of guiding their life in the right direction. So there is not a particular time that it happens, not at a particular point that the absolute becomes relative. No, it is again just an appearance, but when we see the manifestation, now we should not confuse there. There the manifestation is manifestation. There is the good, evil, and so forth in manifestation. That has to be understood, accepted. So, this is how you can get to this point, to understand this. Any other question?
Yes. Question from Jyoti Champaneka.
Jyoti.
Pranam Maharaj.
Pranam.
In Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, Sri Krishna says several times which devotees are dear to him.
Yeah.
And 12.20, such devotees are extremely dear to him.
Yes.
So isn't it partial?
That it is just a response of the manifested God, that those who want me, actually those who want God, God is with them. But most of us do not want God. The problem lies there. I told that story that one minister, he was giving an inspiring talk about, how in the presence of God, who art in heaven, all bliss, we will be all full of bliss. And so do you all want to go to heaven, I suppose? Who wants to go heaven? Please raise your hands. And then nobody was raising hand. Oh my goodness, the minister thought everybody will raise the hands. Hey, you don't want to go to heaven. One member said, eventually we want, but not right away. Right now it is, should we go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donut, that or some other shop? That is the idea. Heaven is not. So most people do not want God. In fact, they want to keep God away from them. If the God comes and starts interfering, because the presence of God, what will it do, even the thought of God. There was the question asked to Ravana. Ravana, at that time, he had kept Sita in his that city of Lanka as a kind of prisoner there, and used to approach Sita every day, pleading that, come on, be mine. And Sita was not yielding. Ravana would take many different nice forms. Then somebody asked Ravana, This story comes in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. That why don't you go to Sita, assuming the form of Rama? Then she will immediately, hey, Rama, my Rama. That will solve your problem. You can assume the form of Rama. Ravana said, forget assuming the form of Rama. Even if I think of Rama, all the desire disappears. All desires disappear. What to speak of the lustful desire of having Sita? All desires disappear with the thought of God, and we want to hold on to our desires. Hold on to the so-called pleasures. I don't want to miss those. And so what we do? Not let God come in our life. Because when He comes, what will happen, Aishwarya? Yes, lose all the desires. Because we feel that the desires bring happiness to us. Very silly idea actually. Desires only bring bondage. No happiness ever is brought through desires. But because we think that if the God comes, what will happen? All our source of happiness will vanish. And so we don't want God, and therefore God doesn't love us. It is, if you want God to love you, you must have that desire for realization of God. When God knocks on your door, you should gladly open and welcome that God. But we see from the door, hole in the door, God, oh my goodness, no, we won't open the door for God. So it is not easy, dear Jyoti, that we really want. If we want God, then that person is most dear to God. That is what in the 12th chapter, these are 5-6 very beautiful verses, 7 verses of the 12th chapter, and at the end they tell why these verses are there, so that we can mold our lives according to those wonderful virtues told there. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara sukha dukkha sama sukha kshami. So that is, when we become like that, then we become dear to God. So that is why God appears to be partial. If you go to the faucet to get water, the faucet gives you water. Is the faucet partial to you? No, but if you don't go to faucet, what is the faucet going to? It is not going to run after you and let water come to you. If you want God, God is there for you. That is the meaning of it. Yes.
What about people who practice religion in an abusive way?
And they will practice religion in the abusive way. They will get the result of that. They will get result of that. Okay. So let us conclude with our closing chant. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol.